Good morning, good evening, good whatever time of day you guys are watching this. Hello, my most beautiful, beautiful friends in the entire world. Come here, come here, come here. I just want to tell you, seriously, you are so beautiful, you are so precious, and you are absolutely worth it. Okay, so for today's video, if you guys did not see, I recently did a PR haul, which I said I wasn't going to do, but alas, I did it. And I actually have some new makeup to try out for you guys. So we're just going to be trying out all the makeup that I got in PR while telling you guys all about my Vegas trip because I have a lot to tell you guys. I also filmed everything, just so you know, but I want to tell you about the trip as well. So let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, so up first, I am going to use the brand new Inslee Rain Cosmetics. This is the Groovy Garden palette. This is supposed to be inspired by like the 60s and 70s, I believe. I do not have a code with this palette, but I know that Heather Austin, Betty Jean, and Angelica Nickfist for sure have codes. I think maybe Leah Janae does. I'm not entirely sure, but if you guys want to save money from this brand, definitely go use their code. But this is the Groovy Garden palette. This is the second palette that I got from Inslee Rain. Paid for it myself. It did take a bit to get here, but again, that's not the brand's fault. They shipped it literally the next day after purchasing it, but it took like 14 days to get here because USPS was just like, we're going to be slow about it. But honestly, it's okay. Because this is how the palette looks. And these rows right here are just so freaking gorgeous. So I'm actually going to start off with this shade right here. We're going to use that as our like crease shade. So let me tell you guys about my Vegas trip. So up first, I need to preference this and say y'all should just grab a snack. Y'all should just grab a snack, grab a drink, because I'm probably going to ramble on. But I'm going to go into my P. Louise base. But you guys, if you guys don't know, I have a fear of flying. Okay, I am not a flying person. I do not like to fly. If you were giving me the choice between a road trip or flying, I'm going to volunteer for a road trip. I just don't care for flying. And I've done it quite a bit now since, honestly, since COVID. I am just still not a fan. I get bad anxiety. So my biggest anxiety is people like,
oh, well, you're safest in the airplane when you're driving.
Listen, that's not the point. I don't like turbulence, okay? I do not like turbulence because I don't like that stomach dropping feeling. And the first time I went on a plane ride since being a little kid was a couple years ago. I would say maybe like 7 years ago at this point. I went to Bangor, Maine to go visit my best friend. Alyssa, her whole family's from Bangor, Maine, and she wanted to show us what Bangor, Maine was like. We had to fly from Orlando to Philadelphia, and no kidding, we went through a winter storm, so it was just horrendous turbulence. I mean, we were just dropping, and people were throwing up. My worst fear, one, the stomach dropping feeling, but then being stuck next to somebody getting sick is just a big fear of mine. Okay, I've been very open about that. So it was really horrible experience. And we had to go get on a little freaking pedal jumper to go fly into Bangor, Maine, because it's a small little airport. So we had to go like on a 2-seater plane. Horrible experience. Let me tell you that right now. So ever since then, it's always been stuck with me. And yes, have I done flights since? I went to LA because of Glamlight. I went to Texas. Both flights were amazing, but I always have a fear. So I checked this app called Turbally, and Turbally kind of indicates whether or not you're going to have any sort of turbulence on your flight. And it kind of gives you an information like you're going to experience moderate turbulence, but then smooth flight after. So it kind of gives you some information, which I find to be very helpful for my anxiety. But then I just discovered a brand new app, and it's called Turbulence Forecast. Now you have to pay $4.99 per flight to get the most accurate reading. But let me tell you, the reading is unbelievably accurate. You start 30 hours off of your flight, and then from 30 hours on, it starts to give you a rating. So you'll get like an A+, B, C, D, F, and it'll tell you exactly where your turbulence is going to be at for how long your turbulence is going to be at. I'll put a little example right here. This is what it looks like. You'll see the graph where you'll see, okay, first like hour or two, smooth sailing, then you're gonna have moderate to severe turbulence, and then smooth sailing, back to moderate severe. Like it kind of tells you exactly where you're gonna have turbulence, what kind of turbulence in terms of like light, severe, medium, moderate, whatever. It's gonna kind of give you like an indication, and for how long you're gonna have turbulence for. It was amazing to buy this. So I spent $9 on the way there, $4 on the way back, because on the way there it was a connecting flight. On the way back it was a direct flight. So it's $4.99, and so it gives you an update from 30 hours, 24 hours, 12 hours, 6 hours, 4 hours. It's supposed to do 2 hours. It didn't do 2 hours for me, but it did 45 minutes prior. So let me tell you, I was relying on this. So on the way there, I paid for the app, or I paid for the flight information. And it said that we have an A reading, meaning that we're going to have pretty much a very smooth flight. And I was really excited about that because I've heard nothing but horrible things flying into Vegas. That it's really horrible turbulence. So I was like, ah, shit. Especially because I just had a massive windstorm. And I was like, oh my God, I don't want to experience this. So I always bring Dramamine just in case. Mostly because it helps to knock me out. I don't really get motion sickness, but like just in case. So I checked the app. It said we had A+. We had A rating. And I was like, okay, perfect. So we were flying Southwest. And I have never flown Southwest before, okay? So this is my first time ever flying Southwest. And let me tell you, I was panicking because Southwest, you don't pay for your seat. It's first come, first serve. I'm not used to that. I'm used to physically paying for a seat. So I was like,
I'm sorry. We just have to pick wherever we go?
first come, first serve. I'm very claustrophobic and I don't want to get stuck in the very back. So I paid for me and Corey to do business select. And I bought this a while ago. And the flights were actually pretty cheap when I bought it. So I was actually very grateful for that. I think it's like less than $500 for both of us at the time when I bought the tickets. Very, very happy. But I paid for business select. And let me tell you, that was probably the best decision that I ever made with Corey because we were flying out in the heart of spring break here in Florida. Now, the news have been telling us for a bit to make sure you arrive to the airport extra early because things have been getting delayed. Lines are super long. And I was like, well, we'll just arrive 2 hours beforehand. We'll be fine. Oh, no. That was a mistake on our part. Do not arrive 2 hours ahead of your flight, apparently, in MCO, because that shit was a madhouse. So first off, my best friend, Alyssa, she flew out the night before. Her flight was supposed to leave at, I think, like 8:20 at night. Her flight got delayed and she didn't leave the terminal. She didn't leave the runway until about 1:50 in the morning. That's how long her flight got delayed. The worst freaking part was that they were delayed on the plane for 4 hours. Like, they were stuck on the plane. They could not offload. Nothing. The plane would not move. They wouldn't let them off. She was stuck there. They were all miserable. So she didn't leave until 1:50 in the morning, and she had been at the airport since 6. Okay. So that should have been an indicator for me what I was to expect. So we leave for the airport at 7 o'clock in the morning and we get there right around 7:30. Our flight's at 9:55. And when we arrive, we're like, okay, we got to find the Southwest terminal. Again, this is my first time ever flying Southwest, so I didn't really know like what to expect. I thought that it'd be really easy going, just like Delta is or like American Airlines is. Oh, that was a lesson I learned. That was a lesson I learned real quick. When I walked up, I didn't know that Southwest, at least in MCO, had its own massive section. I was like, this thing is huge. But not only did it have a little massive section, it had like little like, self-check-in points. I mean, Corey, we checked in. We got our boarding passes, even though I had them on my wallet. We got our luggage tags. We printed them out. We put them on our suitcase. And they're like, oh, cool. We're like, okay, cool. Where's the line? And then that whole line that we had bypassed to get to go to the machines, that was the line to physically check your bags and get your bags weighed to get on an airplane. And I was like, this is the line. It went all the way, like literally past the Southwest section into like the main area before you go to the other areas where other airlines are at. And I was like, that's the freaking line. And there are Southwest people saying, line starts here, line starts here. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? So I asked the person, how long does this wait? She said, it's about a 3-hour wait. And I said, 3-hour wait? We leave in 2 hours. Like, our plane leaves in 2 hours. She's like, well, you better get in line now. And I was like, what do we do? I was like, Corey, there's just no way. The employees kept trying to tell the people, check your luggage outside of the area if you wanted to just like check your bags that way. But again, that line was also atrociously long. So I was like, what the hell? And I was like, this is freaking ridiculous. So we saw that there was a priority boarding area. I'm going to go into this shade right here called Free Thinker, so that we can just kind of help to blend. So I saw that there was a priority check-in area, and I was like, oh man, I wish that we had priority check-in. And Corey's like, wait a minute, I think we do. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah, look at your ticket. So look at the ticket, and it says priority boarding, if applicable. You know what I'm trying to say. Priority boarding if applicable. Priority boarding if available, because we had paid for business select. So I said, oh shit. So we immediately left that long ass line, got into priority boarding, which by the way, took about 45 minutes because that shit took forever. A lot of people, surprisingly, did not print out their luggage tags. They were just waiting for the person to do it for them and put it on their bag and then weigh it. I was like, dang, like no one printed this out. We printed out. So when I got to our turn, we were in and out of the line. So 45 minutes later, it is now about 8:30, and I was like, oh my gosh, like our boarding's at 9:25. It's 8:30, and I'm kind of like, we've been here for an hour. 45 minutes of it was just like literally like waiting in line for a priority check-in. And so I was kind of like freaking out just a little bit because I was like, I don't like want to get stuck in the back. Now granted, we were groups A through 15, number 3, Corey's number 4. And I mean, not that the really numbers matter, but still. I went to this shade right here called Babe. So we got our bags checked. We walk over to TSA, and thank God we're both TSA pre-check. We got that back when we did Texas, so that really did help out. But the TSA pre-check was probably about like a 25-minute wait. So we were in there for about 25 minutes. By the time that we left pre-check and went over to where the shuttle is to take us to our gate, we got there probably around 9:10. Essentially got there around 9:10, and we board in like 15 minutes. Well, then I was like, well, let me use the bathroom, because like my anxiety is at all-time high. I'm kind of stressing out, so I was like, let me use the bathroom. And of course, as every single airport is, I feel like the women's bathroom always has the longest freaking wait. Every single women's bathroom, the line just like wrapped around outside. I'm like, I don't understand. Why is the women's line like a freaking line at Disney? You have to wait 45 minutes to go. I was so pissed. So I looked at Corey and I said, I'm about to walk into a men's bathroom and just go take a piss. I don't care. But surprisingly, I was able to find a shorter bathroom that I only probably had to wait 10 minutes for. But needless to say, I was stressing. So I was stressing a lot about this. Corey's like, it's okay, calm down. But it's just because my anxiety is at all-time high. I just have anxiety about flying. I always have. So this color is kind of patchy, just a little bit, if I'm noticing. So we get to our gate. We get our snacks. We're like, okay, cool. They're gonna start boarding us soon. And then we're at our gate, and we noticed that there were like a shit ton of people there. We're like, oh wow, there's so many people here. We're at our gate, and I'm noticing that like 9:25 is quickly approaching, and I don't see our plane. Like our plane is like physically not there. We're like, where's our plane? So it's 9:25, and I still don't see our plane. That's supposed to be, I think it was like gate 23. We're supposed to be waiting at that gate, and I don't see anything. So I was like, our plane is not here. I'm gonna go into the shade called Lava Lamp right here. And we're going to worry about fixing this in just a minute. But can we talk about how gorgeous this like multi-chrome is? So we're at the gate, 9:25, and we see no plane. And I was like, okay. Well, a lot of people from Texas, like Houston, Texas, are coming over. I was like, is this the Houston, Texan line? We're like, no, this is the Milwaukee line, because I had not a direct flight to Vegas. I had to go to Milwaukee, then go to Vegas. Why? Makes no sense to me. But they didn't have a direct flight through Southwest going there. So we were waiting for Milwaukee. Well, they made an announcement literally at 9:30, said if you're flying to Milwaukee, you now have to head over to like gate 20. So it wasn't that long of a walk, but we had to head all the way over to gate 20. And at this point, it's like 9:40-ish, and we see a plane there, and no one knew where to go. Everybody that was standing at gate 20 that was going to Omaha, Nebraska had to move to a different gate. Everybody's gate all started getting switched. You see tons of people going back and forth, back and forth. No one knew where to go. No one had any idea where to go. So it said our plane was delayed, even though we saw it sitting there, because boarding took forever to get us on the plane, because of the fact that we just kept having to switch gates. So I was like, already my anxiety was like, and I looked at Corey, I was like, thank God I didn't take a Dramamine, because this would have been like worse, because Dramamine does make you like obviously a little groggy and stuff like that. So we finally start to board the plane. We got to stay at that one gate. They didn't move us, which I was really grateful for. But we get on the plane, and it's now like 10:15, 10:20-ish. And me and Corey pick the first row. I picked the first row because I was like, oh, I've never done first row on a plane. This is so exciting. But what I didn't know is that first row didn't have, at least our plane on the way there did not have a tray. Like didn't even have it like in the seat. So we had no tray at all. So we're first row, tons of leg room, but absolutely no tray. We're like, now I got to hold all of our shit. You know what I mean? So I was like, whatever, we're not moving. We're sticking here. First time being in first this way, like first time being in like the first row, I'm going to embrace it, whatever. So we kind of sat there, and then, you know, it took forever. I mean, absolutely forever for them to board everybody. I don't know what was happening. They haven't even brought our luggage yet. I filmed them pulling up with our luggage. I filmed it, and they were just throwing luggage on there. So by the time they got done with luggage, we were sitting on the plane for a good about 45 minutes before they finally got done loading in all the luggage. We're like, what the heck? This is just taking way too long. And I think it's because it took long because they were switching gates on everybody. So the people that had to load our luggage were going from different gate to different gate. It was just a madhouse. Well, then we're like, okay, cool. We're gonna go. We're gonna go. This is time. It's like 11:30. We're ready to get out of there. You know, we're freaking ready. So we drive on the little tarmac we drive on the like little tarmac to get to where we can go take off on the airplane. I'm gonna go into the shade called Vintage Vibe right here. And we had this old man sitting next to us. Really, really like this old man, by the way. So we were driving along on the terminal, like waiting to go take off. Like, okay, cool, this is it. We're literally like third in line about to like, we're like literally third in line when I feel the engines cut off. And we're like, the engines just cut off. Like, why did that is so pretty. We're like, why did the engines cut off? Well, the pilot came on the announcement saying, hey guys, they've completely stopped outbound planes right now, so no one's allowed to depart. Apparently they're oversaturated in the skies around Jacksonville, so they're no longer allowing planes to depart until they can clear the air because of the massive delays from the night before, like illicit flights and everything. That it caused a massive delay everywhere at MCO. So legit, all the planes were grounded. We were grounded for 45 minutes, almost to an hour, before we were allowed to take off. So we're just sitting there in the airplane, okay, just sitting there. And I'm like over here like, you know what I mean? Because like my anxiety starts to really kick up. I'm going to moonchild right here. My anxiety really starts to kick up a little bit. And I was like, oh my God, like we're stuck here. And I was a little hungry because I refused to eat before airplane ride. My anxiety just wouldn't let me eat. So I started to get a little hungry. So I kind of like dug into my snacks. That is just so freaking pretty, by the way. I love the way that this is looking. So I started to like dig into my snacks. We sat there for about 45 minutes. We sent our flight information to Jarvis, who was like, oof, you guys are third in line too. So we were really hoping that they would allow us to go. So then we started hearing airplane engines, and it was right around 1 o'clock time frame-ish before we finally like took off. And we took off, I was like, finally. Now on the way there, it was so unbelievably easy to go. So easy to go. The flight was the smoothest that it's ever been. I was so blown away because I've never flown to Milwaukee before. So that was my first time ever flying over the Great Lakes. Like we flew over the Great Lakes of Michigan, or the Great Lake of Michigan. And that thing is massive. I literally filmed the whole thing and I was like, I've never seen this. The captain made an announcement to let everybody know, like, hey, we're flying over the Great Lakes right now if you guys want to look out your window. And it was just so unbelievably beautiful. I was like, I cannot believe we're seeing this right now. I didn't even know we were flying over it. I also didn't really know where Milwaukee was, not gonna lie. I had to look up that morning going, oh, we're going up to go this. Didn't make sense, but we flew into Milwaukee. And it was supposed to be just a 30-minute layover. We were supposed to literally just go in, pick people up and drop people off, and we didn't even have to deboard and then fly out to Las Vegas. So we flew to Milwaukee. We got to fly over the Great Lake. I thought that was the coolest thing in the entire world. I loved every second of it. Then after we landed there, we were like in and out within 30 minutes. I'm not kidding. That was the quickest in and out experience that I've ever experienced on an airplane. I'm gonna go in the shade right here called Dig It. So when we go to fly out to switch it, the flight attendants came on saying, if you want to switch your seats now, you're welcome to do so, but it's not the full flight. And the guy sitting next to Corey, he was a really cool like old man, just kind of minded his own business. We looked at him and said, are you gonna move? And he's like, yeah, I kind of want to have like a tray. I don't like not having a tray. And I went, oh, I wish you would stay because at least we know each other, And I think because I said that, he's like, all right, I'm going to stay because people were already moving seats behind us the whole time. And he's like, I'm just going to stay. So he just sat there, I think because I kindly asked him. And at that point, as Corey and I were flying business select, we got a free drink. So I was like, you know what? I'm feeling better. I know we're not going to have any anxiety. I know we're not going to have any turbulence now. Let me just go ahead and utilize my free drink. So I got a free drink on the airplane. And the flight attendant, he was so funny. He kept calling it lost wages the whole time. Super funny dude. So he handed me and Corey, I just got a Jack Daniels and a Dr. Pepper. He filled that shit up. I swear he filled that shit up. So we were drinking it. I was watching, oh my God, what was I watching on the way there? I watched a movie on the way there. I don't remember what I watched. And like halfway through the flight, he just walked over and said, you guys want another round? And I said, no, I'm okay. I didn't want another round. I hadn't eaten anything. It's like, no, I'm okay. I don't want another round. And he goes, no. You're going to lost wages. I'm getting another round. So he gave us another round completely for free. We never even turned in our ticket. We tried to hand it to him. He's like, don't even worry about it. So I was like, oh shit. Well, at that point, I looked down and we were flying over Denver, Colorado at the moment because we could see it on the map. And oh my God, it was gorgeous. I have never seen something like that before. I don't really ever get to see snow. I have been in snow. I have experienced snow. I went to Michigan during winter. I went to Maine during winter. My family's from West Virginia. I have seen snow. I played in snow. But flying over Denver, Colorado and seeing just those gorgeous snow-capped mountains was just so freaking beautiful. It was just so beautiful. I was so blown away by the beauty of it. The flight was only probably like 3 hours long to get to Las Vegas, and it was such a smooth sailing to Las Vegas, smooth landing, and we got there probably around like 4:30 Los Angeles time, so it was probably like around 7:30 Eastern time, and when we landed, the first thing we did, like when we landed, we deboarded the plane and then we walked through the Las Vegas airport and my jaw just dropped. My jaw just dropped. There were casinos, or there were slots and gambling everywhere. I have never seen that before. It's my first time in Vegas and it's just literally everywhere. And I'm like, you could just gamble here. I was so blown away by how big the airport was and how much like gambling can be done at the airport. I was just like, my mom would love it here. Okay, I'm gonna quickly clean this up, throw on some lashes, do the other eye off camera. I'll be right back. It's not the eyes are done for the most part. I will say it's a really pretty eye look. I will also say that I think this purple shade that we have right here, it's just a little patchy. I'm having a little bit difficult time getting it to stay fully. It's called Babe. Right here, this is definitely a little patchy right here, but the shimmers and like the multichromes work beautifully. So we'll definitely dig back into this palette in just a little bit. We're gonna move on to the face. So for primer, I have the brand new Milk Makeup. This is going to be the Cloud Foam Primer. Y'all, I have been so excited to try this primer out. I'm still really shocked they sent this to me in PR just because, well, I don't know, it's still just so cool. So we're gonna go ahead and use this today. This is gonna be a Cloud Foam Glowing Primer. So it's gonna look like this, super freaking nice. I'm excited to really like try this out. Let's see. It's like very, very, very wet. Very wet feeling. As you can see, I'm still trying to blend this in. I might have used too much, honestly, but I was just way too excited to try it out. So we're just gonna kind of let this dry down for a minute. So anyway, so after we arrive at the airport and I'm taking in all the casinos, Juan and Alyssa, they came and pick us up and they drive us to where we were staying. We stayed at Cosmopolitan. And let me tell you, driving down Vegas Strip was just so unreal. I have always wanted to see Vegas Strip. You know, the first time I ever saw Vegas ever, like in movies, was the National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation. So I've always wanted to see Vegas since then. My grandmother was supposed to take me for my 21st birthday, but unfortunately she passed before she had a chance to take me, so I never got to go. Then I would see it in all these movies, so it's so cool to see everything I've always seen in movies, like in real life. The Vegas Strip was so much to take in, like absolutely so much to take in. It was a little overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little overwhelming. For foundation, I'm gonna try out the brand new Diamond Perfector. This is a BB cream. This is a 10-in-1 skin perfector from Physician Formula. I'm gonna have the shade light to medium, and this says this is a complex enhancing beauty balm designed to leave all skin tones looking glowing and radiant. The innovative 10-in-1 skin perfector moisturizes, primes, provides lightweight coverage while diffusing look of pores and imperfections. So let's try this out. So we get to the Vegas Strip and we check out the Cosmopolitan, we check in, and we're exhausted because like we had an all-day travel trip, and we check into our room, freaking massive, beautiful room, and we drop our stuff off, and then we're like, okay, we need to go out and like explore to see like what we can find. We go on the Strip, and wow, this is like barely any coverage. But it's lightweight, so that is kind of nice. So we get to Vegas Strip, and the first thing we do is we head down to the Bellagio so that we can see the fountains. It was really cool to like watch the fountain over by the Bellagio because I've always wanted to see that fountain. So we did that. We explored all down Vegas Strip. We like walked up and down. We checked out the different hotels. And I will say, if you've never been to Vegas, it was so much to take in. It was very overwhelming. I was completely overwhelmed. My husband was completely overwhelmed. Juan and Alyssa were overwhelmed as well, just because it's so much to take in. Like literally so much to take in. There's so much to see, so much to do, and it really, I feel like, is the city that like never sleeps. Although I think people say that about New York, but I'm not kidding. It's like never ending. All the lights, like everything was open 24 hours. And it was just like, whoa, this is just so much to take in. But it was just so freaking beautiful. I was just like awestruck the entire time. And I knew that they had a lot of characters that walked around and pretended to be like Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. And like you could take pictures with them and everything. This is kind of lackluster a little bit. Like, do we see this? Like, I don't really like how this is looking on the face. It's like patchy, like right here. So like I said, it was just a lot to take in. We saw the characters all dressed up. There are girls that dressed up in the Vegas gear, and had written on their ass Vegas, and everybody's like trying to take pictures with them and whatnot. So we just explored, but we didn't stay out super late because we were utterly exhausted, like literally utterly exhausted. Mind you, it's a 3-hour difference, so I'm used to Eastern time, and I go to bed around like 10:30. So it was like 9:30 Vegas time, so it was like 12:30 our time, and I was exhausted. So we're like, okay, let's just go ahead and call it for the day after just kind of exploring, because like it was, that looks so bad. I don't like that. It like, will it look better with my hands? No. It's just not really mixing very well. Do we see that? All right, I'm going to take a little bit of the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. I also got some of this in PR too. I have this shade called Light 40N. We're just going to try to put this on top, see if we can salvage this look, because I really want to like this, but it's just like look at that. Like, do you see? Look at that. It's not wanting to stay. Okay, so, oh yeah, so much better. Okay. So we go to bed, we check out the room. We had a massive like jacuzzi style bathtub and a massive shower. So Corey and I take a shower and we pretty much fall right asleep because we were absolutely exhausted. But then we were up like all night because where our room was located was right next to this massive pool party. And they were having a pool party, like a massive pool party until like 4:30 in the morning. So all we heard is doom, 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 doom. Everybody! And I was like, oh my God. So we barely got sleep that night. I was so freaking exhausted. So we got up literally like around 6:30. And I was just like, all right, I'm so exhausted, but we're going to go get some breakfast. So we get up early because we were planning to drive out to the Hoover Dam that day. So we get up early. We go grab some breakfast. I just grab a muffin because I'm not the biggest breakfast eater. I never really have been. And I grab an energy drink because like we need an energy drink. And Juan wanted to take us out to the Hoover Dam, but he wanted to take us out to Kings Highway or Kings Road. It's like an area behind the Hoover Dam. So we went to on this like really pretty like scenic drive where we went behind the Hoover Dam, like near it, but like not near it at the same time. And we got to like explore like this massive terrain that we got to drive the car over. You'll see all of this in our vlog because we filmed the entire thing. And so you'll see us explore this entire like Red Rock mountain area where you can just either go hiking, you can go camping, you can do so much, you can go fishing, and it is just beautiful. I mean, like this is absolutely beautiful. Like the red mountains, it absolutely looked like somebody just took a paintbrush and painted it along the mountains. It was so pretty. I was just so blown away that something as like brown as this could be just unbelievably beautiful with like just the red tips everywhere. It was so fun driving the 4Runner that we had rented up the mountains, and like we were trying to like we get out of the car to go take pictures and we would go and like hike up the little trails and stuff like that. And I didn't realize how much rattlesnakes were present in Vegas, so that was kind of a first for me. I didn't see any, but they definitely did have like warnings about rattlesnakes being around. I know there's rattlesnakes here, but I didn't realize how present was there. They also had like a lot of tarantulas and like scorpions we had to look out for, and I was like, oh shit. It looked like we were in Breaking Bad. Like the area that he took us to looked like an episode of Breaking Bad. So we explored the Red Mountain area over there, and then we drove over to the Hoover Dam. Now I have always wanted to go to the Hoover Dam ever since I saw National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation. I've always wanted to explore it. So seeing it in person was just breathtaking. I'm going to go into the Pretty Fresh concealer from ColourPop, which is breathtaking, absolutely breathtaking. I was so blown away with like how it looked. And I was just like, wow, because like we hiked across the bridge right across it, so you could like look down at the Hoover Dam. And then we drove down and parked our car and walked all the way to the Hoover Dam, which I didn't know that the Hoover Dam and Arizona like cross lines. Because when we went to like the mountain range beforehand to go explore behind the Hoover Dam, we were in Arizona the whole time. I had no idea we were in Arizona. It wasn't until we were at a segment that this is where the Arizona and Nevada state line touch. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm in Arizona right now. I've always wanted to go to Arizona. So I was like, this is so cool. I was so blown away with how close we actually were. And so to see where they have the Hoover Dam, where it splits between Nevada and Arizona, you see the two different times, was so freaking cool. Wow, my under eyes look like shit right here. So freaking cool. I was just like, this is just so wild, unexpected. Like I did not expect that. So we got to walk on the Hoover Dam, got to kind of explore it. And I was like looking for these things on the ground that like indicate that this is where land is. Because when I watched San Andreas, the movie, there was a segment where the Hoover Dam breaks, and they have these things lifted up under the ground to indicate this is where like the land is and no longer on the Hoover Dam. And I kept looking for it, going, oh, where are they? Where are they? Like, where are they? And then I realized that the movie lied to me, that they actually don't have that, because I looked all on the ground, on the road. I didn't see that at all. I was like, the movie lied to me. I thought it was a real thing, that these things would pop up. Like, I thought it was real, and they just lied. They straight up lied. And I was so disappointed, because I thought it was a real thing, but I learned my lesson the hard way that it's not. So after we get done with the Hoover Dam, we head back to Vegas and we try Tacos El Gordo. I think that's what it's called. I could be wrong, but it's a mom and pop local Mexican place. Let me tell you, those are the best damn tacos I have ever had in my entire life. They were so freaking good. I was so blown away with how amazing those tacos were. I'm going to go into the Physician Formula. This is the Diamond Bronzer Talc-Free Bronzer Gym. This is a liquid bronzer. It's like a creamy powder bronzer. So I was so blown away with how amazing those tacos were. So after we had that, we went back to the hotel, freshened up. They gambled a little bit, and then we went out to a really nice dinner at Catch. After we got back from Catch, we went back to the a room to change, because we got really, really nice dress. So then we had free tickets to go to the Sphere, because Corey and Alyssa actually know somebody who works at the Sphere, because they're a guest that constantly visits them at the bar. And so they actually hooked us up with free tickets to the Sphere. So we drove down to the Sphere. First off, the outer side of it is so freaking cool to like see all the images that are kind of projected. Really freaking wild. So freaking cool. I'm going to try out the benefit tent right here, but I'm also going to try out this as well. These are two different, it's like a cheek and lip color right here, and then a benefit tent. We're just going to try them both. But legit, the Sphere, which is like so cool, like lit up. It kind of looked like the Epcot ball, but then like when you walk inside, let me tell you, what's really kind of creepy about the walking inside is that they have those freaking robots. Like they have those damn robots that are called, oh God, I'd have to look up their name. I'm forgetting at the moment, but I've been seeing these robots all over TikTok, and they freaking stare at you, and they're very interactive. Like they like talk to you. They legit talk and answer you. They have like their, I don't want to say handler, but they have their handler standing next to them, and they sit there and they talk to you, and they can answer your questions. They can laugh. And at one like looked into my soul, and I was like, this is freaky. I don't like this. I did not like that at all. I didn't want to be around them. They really freaked me out. So I was like, this is the start of the Terminator. This is where it starts, or iRobot, or the Matrix. It all starts here. You know what I mean? Conspiracy theory here. And one of the workers saw me making a face, and they said, are you okay? And I was like, I just think that she's really creepy. And they go, right? Isn't she really creepy? I said, yes. They go, yeah, she kind of freaks us out too, because sometimes she talks to us. I'm like, you know what I mean? So there was this one really cool area, though, where there's one that kind of like put on a section where it's like a music sound system thing. So like depending on where you're standing in the light would depend on what you hear. So you're standing like, it's like 4 light sections, and it goes from like, she puts on a show where she's like, okay, stand in this light and you'll hear different languages. So you stood in one, you hear Spanish, and you move to the next light, you hear German, you move to the next light, you hear Mandarin, and then you move to the next light, you hear English. So freaking cool that the sound waves are hitting you in different areas depending on where you're standing, depending on what you hear. They also did with music. Again, I vlogged the whole thing, so you guys will see this all in the vlog. Really, really, really cool to experience that. And then we actually walked into the Sphere. Now, if you guys have ever done like a planetarium, it's like that, but better, right? They put on this show called and so they put on the show for, it's called A Postcard from Earth. Let's try this out. I've never tried this out before. Postcard from Earth, and it's like a 45-minute show. And if you've ever been on Soarin' at Animal Kingdom, if you've ever been on Soarin' at Epcot, it's very similar to that, but like 10 times better. You don't move, but the camera quality is unbelievable. I mean, like literally, you are surrounded by like screens that are on all sides of you, besides just directly behind you, all sides, all above you. The noise, the wind, the smell, it's incredible. It's so breathtakingly beautiful. It feels like you're physically in the scene. So they do A Postcard from Earth. It's kind of like the telling of like Adam and Eve. In my opinion, that's what it kind of reminds me of just a little bit. It's the telling of Adam and Eve. And so I'm just trying to add more color, because I feel like both colors are just a little light in my opinion. We're just kind of working with this. I'll have to go over powder in just a minute anyway. So we watch this stuff. I'll put some clips in right here so you guys can see, because it is so beautiful. I mean, like literally unbelievably beautiful to see the sphere come to life. It's a 45-minute show. Absolutely worth it. Absolutely freaking worth it. We loved every second of the sphere show. I was so blown away. Some parts are just like, wow, like this is breathtaking. So gorgeous. I would recommend seeing that show. Hands down, I recommend seeing that show. So after we got done seeing the show, we went back to the hotel. Juan and Alyssa went to go gamble a bit more. Corey and I were absolutely exhausted because it was like 11:30 at that point, almost midnight. So we went to bed. They went out gambling until like 4 o'clock in the morning. And so we met up at 7. So they only got like 3 hours of sleep. We met up at 7, and then Juan drove us to Red Rock Canyon, where we actually got to go hiking. And it's a big scenic trail where you go hiking in these mountains, and you can see where they actually put like studs into the rocks to actually go rock climbing. And oh my gosh, one, it makes you realize how freaking out of shape you are, because you're just like like hiking up this damn mountain, right? We had the wrong gear for it. We didn't have the right outfits. It was cold. I had Converse shoes, and I also put on my Taylor Swift sweater backwards. I didn't even realize I had it backwards until I looked back at the camera, and I was like, oh my god, my shirt's on backwards. But we walked up the whole canyon. It was so pretty to go hiking up there. And then we did this long scenic drive through Red Rock Canyon, and it was just unbelievably breathtaking and gorgeous. Like, you could see snow in the background. You could see all these mountains with like red paint all over is what it looked like. So freaking cool. We probably did that for like 2 hours going through a scenic trail, and then he drove us through this tiny little town called Blue Diamond, and we got to see this tiny little town with like 300 people in it, I swear. Really cool experience. And then we got back. We actually met up with the friends that got us into the Sphere for free. We had lunch with them over at the Venetian Hotel. Very pretty hotel, by the way. I'm going to use the ColourPop Pretty Fresh face powder right here. Very pretty hotel. We had great food. Every single food that I've had in Vegas was absolutely delicious. We got back to the hotel. We kind of just like all kind of like took a nap for just a little bit because we were all exhausted. And then we had to go meet downstairs to go get picked up by the shuttle because we were actually taking a helicopter tour to the Grand Canyon. So the helicopter tour we did was called Maverick, and this is the only helicopter tour that actually offers to you to fly. This is the only helicopter tour that actually flies into the Grand Canyon and lands at the bottom. Apparently where this section is, they have a contract deal. I think it's with the Mohawks. I don't want to say it's them, but I think it's the Mohawks is what the guy told me. And they have a contract deal where they allow the helicopters to land on their land in the bottom of the Grand Canyon. So we go to the helicopter tour. They pick us up at the hotel in a shuttle. They drive us all the way to the airport, which is where they're stationed, and then they put us on the helicopter, and the first thing they do is they fly us over the Hoover Dam. And let me tell you, seeing it from above was just unreal. Like, seeing everything, because you get to see it in a way that I've not seen it before, right? Like, I get to see it fully for what it is. And it's so cool to see how massive the Hoover Dam actually is, along with like Lake Mead, and to kind of fly over and see all the mountain ranges that you have to offer. Powder, I think, actually made this look really nice. Okay, so we're gonna move on to bronzer. I'm just gonna go in the Benefit Hoola bronzer. So after we fly over the Hoover Dam, they fly us. It takes about 45 minutes to get to the Grand Canyon, and like, we fly into the Grand Canyon. And let me tell you, the way that my jaw just like completely dropped. I mean, completely dropped. I have never ever seen the Grand Canyon before. It's always been a huge bucket list for me to see the Grand Canyon. And I won't forget that the second that we land at the bottom, we land right next to the Colorado River. And we land in a spot where that we were designated to land in. And we're surrounded by all these mountains. I literally get out of the helicopter, and because I'm sitting in the back because he designated where we were sitting, and I was kind of hoping to sit in the front, but I was not allowed to, at least on the way there. So we get out, and we're allowed to start to explore. I pulled my camera out, and I start talking to the camera, and then I start crying because I never thought that I would see the Grand Canyon. It was always a huge bucket list of mine to see, and I literally started to cry. I had to stop filming, and Corey's, are you okay? And I just said, this is something that I've always wanted to see. You know what I mean? Like, I always wanted to see the Grand Canyon. And I don't know, I guess I never thought it was possible to come here. And now I'm standing here at the bottom looking up at something that I've been dying to see my whole life. Like, it's been a huge bucket list of mine. I still want to go back. I want to see all of the Grand Canyon. I only got to see a portion of it, you know what I mean? So, because it's like, I think it's like 300 miles long. It's massive. So I started to cry. And it was such a moment for me that I had to stop filming because I was just so like, this is just so magical. So we were at the bottom of the Grand Canyon for about 50 minutes. We were only allowed to explore the certain area because the terrain was unstable. So like, we can walk where we wanted to. Just they didn't want us to go far because we can get lost very easily. And the ground is like unstable. Like we landed kind of like on an edge, like on a, like a little cliff. I did see this one guy because I was walking over to go film something, fucking pissing over the canyon. And I was like, what the hell? What are you doing? But I got to like explore the area. Wow, I cannot get this open. Got to explore the area. I'm just gonna go with my Packer towel, just to add a little bit more blush. And it was everything. It was absolutely beautiful. It was everything I could imagine and more. I was just so blown away by the beauty of it all. I was absolutely magical. Definitely well worth it. Definitely well worth it. And they offered us like champagne and snacks when we were down there too. Really, 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 really incredible. And then when we got to fly back, they allowed us to switch spots. So I actually sat in the front on the way back. And when I sat in the front, we flew to we flew through the Grand Canyon even more, and I filmed so much of it before we flew up. And then he flew us over like Lake Mead and like landed us really low on the bottom, like we skidded the bottom. And he told us about how there are actual natural horses and donkeys and cows that are out there, because there's this man that used to own a little ranch out there before the government came and bought it, and he sold it, but he didn't want to take his animals with him, so he let them go free. And now they just roam that whole area completely free, natural, no human inhabitants, like nothing. Really cool. We got to see that. I got to see Titty Mountain. I'll put a picture of it because it looks like a titty. And then we landed to go get some refuel, and then we flew back up and just got to fly and got to see the whole sunset. We got to see the sunset all throughout the area between Nevada and Arizona. Got to see the sunset behind us at the Grand Canyon. And then we got to like fly over the Vegas Strip during sunset/night. So freaking cool. We had an absolute blast. It was one of the best experiences I've ever done in my entire life, and I would recommend it to anybody. Truly the best way to see the Grand Canyon, in my opinion. And then after we left that, we went to go have dinner with Juan's friends, because he went out there originally for a paintball tournament, and that's why we went out there for that. And so we went to go meet up with his friends, and we went and had a really nice dinner. And then we ended up just going and casino hopping between different casinos. Like, we ended up staying at the Bellagio to go gambling for a while. I sat in the slot machines for the first time in a long time. I actually lost. I didn't lose a lot, but I lost. Corey, my beautiful husband, was winning like crazy. He was able to read the machine, and I was like, man, if my mom was here, she'd be so freaking proud. My mom would really love like the Vegas lifestyle. We were getting free drinks, because obviously when you gamble, you get free drinks. And then we ended up just kind of hopping from like Bellagio to the Cosmo to Planet Hollywood, and just kind of hopping around different areas. And then we ended up just kind of calling it a night, like probably like around 2:00 in the morning. Before we did, we went to this pizza place that was at the Cosmopolitan, and it's a hidden pizza place. Let me tell you, that pizza is probably the best pizza I've ever had. I'm gonna try a mix of these two highlighters. This was sent to me by DJ Clean. So we tried the pizza, and then we ended up going to bed. And then we ended up getting up pretty early, because we had to be at the airport by 11, because our flight was at 1:55. So we ended up getting to the airport around 11. Now, we thought it was going to be a madhouse, just like it was leaving. But nope. Oh my God, that's intense. Oh my God. But nope, it was super easy. The line for Southwest was very short. We did priority. We were the only ones in priority. So we were in and out. TSA had barely anyone in it. So we get to the airport. We ended up eating Burger King for lunch, and because we were starving. And I felt bad, though, because Alyssa's flight, they were supposed to leave at 2:30. Their flight got delayed the night before. They got notified that their flight got delayed the night before. And our flight had not gotten delayed at all. We were leaving at 1:55. And then probably like 30 minutes before we were supposed to like leave, they got notified that their flight got canceled, and they had gotten rebooked on the 10:30 a.m. flight. 10:30 a.m. flight. They got that text at 12:30. And they're like, what the hell? Like, why are you texting us now? This was from Southwest. So Southwest completely messed up their flight. They canceled their original flight because they had to do a layover in Dallas, Texas to get back to Florida. For some reason, they completely messed it up. They canceled their flight. And so, wow, that is so intense. So they were really pissed off about that. They had to go to the help desk. They ended up getting a $100 voucher for Southwest. But Alyssa and Juan are like, I'll never fly Southwest again. I mean, I don't blame them. So they ended up getting a voucher, and they got put on a 1:30 flight. And they got bumped from boarding group B to boarding group C, and they were super pissed. Thank God they were at the airport, because they went right to their gate. So we were still leaving now at 2:10, because our flight ended up getting pushed because of all this. So we're now leaving at 2:10. So we were in one area for the flight. We got notified that our flight got moved to the completely opposite side of where we're standing. We were like gate like 16 and we had to go all the way down to gate 23, completely opposite sections of that airport terminal. We're like, what the heck? And our flight ended up getting delayed until about 2:30, 2:45ish. So we get on the plane and then we had to sit there for 45 minutes because they were loading in boxes of cargo. So we had to sit there for literally 45 minutes before they even pulled away. And then we sat in the first row again. This time our seats had like the little trays you can like lift up over. So we were very grateful they had that. But the person that Corey sat next to, I'm going to go in with this shade called Earthly Ember right here to like blend out underneath. The person that Corey sat next to, she was a little odd. She talked to Corey a lot on the flight, and Corey was trying to watch Top Gun Maverick because he loves that movie and he just wanted to watch that since we had done a helicopter tour. He just really wanted to like watch that movie. This lady made a point to tap him on the shoulder and say, hey, I never watched that movie. I really wanted to watch it, but I ended up not seeing it this trip. So she's like, can you like move your iPad a little bit over so I can watch it with you? We don't know you. Very, very, very weird. She just kept staring at a screen. Now, he has headphones in, so she can't see it anyway. She can't hear what's going on, but she was watching his stuff like crazy, trying to like see what was happening. And then she just kept trying to talk to him. But the whole time that she's trying to do that, she kept dropping her stuff like on the ground and then dropping like her stuff like in his lap and like down on the floor. So she kept trying to like dig in like between his legs, like underneath to grab her phone and stuff. She kept dropping stuff the whole time. And Corey's like, who is this chick? Like, he goes like, I don't know her. She was an older chick and she just kept talking to him, kept wanting to watch his movie and just kept dropping stuff like crazy. So when the flight attendant came around and was like, do we want any drinks? We had again our free vouchers. So we're like, yes, we want drinks because this lady was just kind of being obnoxious a little bit, not gonna lie. And just being a little bit invasive in Corey's privacy. And he's like literally squishing into me as much as he can. I didn't say anything because I, at this point, had taken Dramamine because I had gotten notified from my turbulence forecast app that turbulence was going to be pretty bad. And I was like, ugh. So I took Dramamine. So I was extremely tired, but I put on San Andreas actually. And the lady came over, the flight attendant, to come give us a drink. And when she did, she actually spilt her drink on Corey. Like, she spilt Corey's drink on him. And he wasn't upset. He's like, oh, no, it's okay. Accidents happen. She felt bad. So I'm not kidding. Halfway through the flight, again, she walked over with the 2 airplane bottles of Jack Daniels, hands it to both of us, and hands us a new Dr. Pepper and said, here on the house, since I spilt the drink on you. We're like, oh, okay. So we had 2 drinks on the way back, and this time on the way back, we actually got to fly over the Grand Canyon, so I got to see the Grand Canyon from a different view, and it was so freaking incredible watching that. And then we ended up hitting bad turbulence for about a good hour over Texas, and I'm just going back in with that same highlight. I'm just going back in the same highlighter just to do it right here. So we ended up doing like kind of like bad turbulence, but this time it wasn't like the up and down. It was just legit side to side the whole time. So that I could handle. I'm going to go into the shade Jazz right here just to do the inner corner. That I could handle. That did not bother me. It's just the up and down that I don't like. The side to side didn't bother me, but that was lasting for a good hour. A good hour. We were just experiencing that turbulence right there. And at some point, I don't know, but the Dramamine kicked in hard and I fell asleep. Now, I didn't know I fell asleep until I startled myself awake. Now, we're in the first row, so we have tons of leg room, right? But I'm slouched, literally laying down completely, like all the way like this, and I'm slouched down because I am exhausted, and I fell asleep, and I jerked awake, and I ended up kicking the wall loudly, and Corey looked right over me. He goes, oh my God, you fell asleep? And I said, I did fall asleep. I was like, I didn't mean to. It was after midnight, and that whole time, by the way, I had lost my voice. I came down actually with laryngitis because I ended up talking to my doctor. I came down with laryngitis is what ended up happening, and that's why I lost my voice. But it was brought on because of like all the smoke and everything like that. So it wasn't like it was viral, it wasn't contagious, but I ended up getting laryngitis. That's why I ended up losing my voice. But yeah, that was my entire Vegas trip. I will tell you, it was a once in a lifetime trip. I don't know when I'll ever be back in Vegas. Vegas is really expensive, a lot like Disney. So much to take in, so much to see and do. I can see why everybody goes there all the time. It's so much fun. I mean, like, Vegas was a time. Like, Vegas was so much fun. Like, literally, there's always something to do. Always something to do. Something I would highly recommend. But I absolutely loved seeing the Vegas Strip. But I also love doing like the nature stuff too, like going and hiking the Red Rock Canyon, going to see the Grand Canyons, doing the Hoover Dam. Like that to me really, really, really made my day and really made the trip. I think my favorite part truly was going to the Grand Canyon because I liked doing both. Like they both felt like two different worlds, like two different trips, but it was so worth it. And I'm just really happy that I did decide to vlog because originally I wasn't going to. But now I'm really happy that I did because now I get to show it to you guys and also just kind of relive it myself. You know what I mean? I'm going to go in with the Jean-Luc Cosmetics lip liner in the shade called Mother Pucker. I'm going to take that new Merit Beauty lipstick. This is going to be the signature lipstick in the shade called Classic. This would be a really, really pretty color with this look. So let's try this out. That is really, really, really nice. I like that. Very comfortable, very lightweight. I really like that color too. I think it's a really, really pretty color. And then I do like to have a glossy moment, so I'm going to take the Physician Formula. This is going to be their Diamond Plumper Minimal Wear Lip Plumper right here. I think I'm just going to add this on top because I feel like that'd be really pretty, like to add right on top. It has that like burning smell that like Too Faced has for their lip plumper. And I'm just going to go in with the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. Guys, so this is the final look right here. I think this is really, really pretty. I am obsessed with the way the eye look came out. The highlighter is gorgeous. I really do like the lip, but the eyes I feel like are what's the star of the show. So I'm going to kind of give you guys my opinion of these products at the end of the month because I'm going to keep testing them out. But based upon first impressions, there are some items that I really like and there's definitely some items that I don't. Like I really do love the Groovy Garden from Inslee Rain. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. That one purple shade is definitely pretty patchy, but everything else works really, really beautifully. So I'm really happy that I got this. The primer so far, I like the Milk Primer, but I'm definitely going to keep testing this out. But based upon first impressions, I do like it. The BB cream, it's horrible. I don't like this. I don't like the way my skin looks. It doesn't want to stay on. I'm going to try it again, but I'm going to try it again with different primers and see if that makes a difference. And I'm going to probably try it without a primer too, see if that makes a difference. But based upon first impressions, no. I'm not going to talk about the ColourPop products like these two because I've already played with them before. I do like the Physician Diamond Bronzer. This is really nice. We're going to keep playing with it. The Diamond Filler and the Benetint, they're very, very lightweight. So if you're trying to look for like a very lightweight blush, they're not a bad option. I do like how they blended very easily. They're just very light in pigment. The pressed powder from ColourPop, I like it. I like this pressed powder and I keep playing with it. Same with this highlighter. It's a very beautiful highlighter. And the eyeshadow palette and the lips. I really do like the lips as well. The matte lipstick is very gorgeous, very creamy, very hydrating. You don't really feel it sitting on the lips. But the plumper, like from Physician Formula, like this Diamond Plumper, it has that same smell that Too Faced does. It just does not have the burning sensation, which I'm very grateful for. So this is just kind of what we're working with right now. I'll make sure I link all the products down below. But honestly, I just wanted to do a full face of trying new makeup by telling you guys about my Vegas trip because my Vegas trip is just still something that I'll never forget. I'm very grateful that I said yes to it. Originally I said no just because like it's traveling, it's money, it's this and that. I'm very grateful that I said yes because it's been one of the best experiences of my entire life. And I'm so excited for you guys to see the vlog. So I do apologize that the editing on this video is very, very minimalistic, but I like doing minimalistic editing when it comes to just a chit chat, get ready with me, because I just want to sit here and talk to my friends and tell you guys kind of like what my trip was like. And I'm not editing my stuff in real life, not doing boom, bam, 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 being super crazy. I'm just sitting here telling you a story. So that's kind of like why my editing is not as much in this video. It's because it's just a simple get ready with me. So if you guys like these style videos where I just do try out new makeup, but I just sit here and do more get ready with me instead of like selling you guys stuff or pushing stuff, I'm just simply trying out stuff while I'm talking to my friends, let me know because I like doing this style video as well. But that, my friends, is it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure you guys give this video a cheeky thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already, because I do post 4 to 5 videos every single week. Make sure you guys head over to my other channel. It's R for Life. You guys get to see my cool, wonderful adventures, my amazing husband, Corey. And as always, the biggest thank you goes to these beautiful, wonderful page members you guys see right here. Thank you guys so much for everything. And to my subscribers and viewers, thank you guys so much for being here. Whether you guys like this video, you guys thumbs down this video, you guys subscribed, you guys did not subscribe, either way, thank you guys so much for being here. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you. So with that said, guys, I love you, and I'll see you guys in my very next video.